everyone.
Hi.
Yes, I'm Thomas Smelane from Eswatini, but I'm currently in the road. In the next 15 minutes, I'll be settled.
Nice. I think in a youth work conference, that kind of hello is nice. Let's just burst into the room and say hi, everybody. And there can be many people talking at the same time. It's okay.
Hello, everyone. I hope everyone is well. I'm Lerato. I'm from South Africa. I've been in the youth work. Hi, Tanya. Great to see you. Great to see you. I've been in the youth work for a while now, from local government going towards provincial government, and also in the NPO sphere. But currently, I'm looking towards venturing into my own NPO and streamlining myself to actually be able to assist more young people with the resources that I'll be getting through these networks. Okay, yeah, it's great to be here. Thank you all.
Thanks so much, Lerato.
I think we set the ball rolling, and we're going to move it a little. Pooja, you're okay. We are a bit informal here.
Absolutely.
This conversation about informal and formal youth work. So let's maybe we just hear everybody's name, country, and association or organization, if that, and maybe one word. So just like rapid fire. Let's just go. And yeah.
Yes. I'm Aruna Shanta from Sri Lanka. I was working for the YMCA for a long time, but I'm a retired person, but still supporting the YMCA for their youth work.
Beautiful. And part of our work in Sri Lanka. So lovely to meet you, Aruna. Okay, let's go. Yes.
I'm Shanta from Sri Lanka also. Hi. Hi, Ash and everyone. Tanya, hi. Happy to see you all.
Yes. Shanta, and I think let's do country-wise. So Sri Lankan contingent is started. Shanta, let's go. Next.
Hi. This is Davis.
Oh, lovely.
I'm also working with Shanta. Part of this youth studies program. Nice to see you all.
Yes, and soon we'll follow Mr. Ranavira, right? How can you be left behind?
Yeah.
Your mic, Ranavira. Okay, maybe there's a problem. Let's just carry on. Just quick names, organizations, country.
Yeah, I'm Ranavira from Sri Lanka, Professional Association of Youth Workers. Thank you.
So beautiful to have the whole contingent of old Paiva. Yes.
Good afternoon.
Yes, please carry on. Okay.
My name is Mark. I'm from Ipswich, England, and my organisation is called Community Praxis. An ode to Paulo Freire.
Fantastic. Lovely, Mark. Good to have you here. So I won't respond to everybody because I'm just keen. Everybody talks to everybody. So let's just keep moving. Mark, thanks. Move on, everyone.
I'm Jessica from...
Oh. Hello.
Good afternoon. I'm Simbo from Federal Ministry of Youth, Nigeria. Mine's been on the platform.
Bless.
I'm Jessica, video volunteers in India and also in the US. Very happy to see all the Vartalip folks.
Yoo-hoo! Yes,
okay.
More folks.
All right, my name is Ben Duntoye. I'm the president of the Nigerian Youth Workers Association. I'm also a board member of CAYWA. I'm very happy to be here. Hello, everyone.
So lovely. Beautiful. Beautiful. More.
I'm Robin in London in the UK, and it's lovely to see so many faces here from all over this beautiful planet of ours, even in these troubling times. Shanta, it's lovely to see you. Looking forward to seeing you again soon. And one of my all-time favorites has just joined the call. I can see KC, who's also in SA in South Africa, but he's in the car. I'll hand over to you, KC. KC came to see me as a young person on a youth exchange many years ago.
Oh.
Lovely to see your smile, sir. Are you able to speak? Just to introduce yourself?
I am able to speak. Good afternoon. Hey, good afternoon, colleagues. Wow, I'm so happy to be here. Look, I'm gonna switch off my camera because I'm driving. I'm just gonna have my mic on. Is that okay?
Sure.
It's a privilege to have you here, sir. Great to know that you're here.
Thank you so much, Sir Robin. So yeah, and because I'm on the road, please do excuse my network. It's terrible, but my name is Kulani. Eliza, Bestner, Casey, Robin Lockhart is the old brother of mine, old brother of mine since 2003. We've been. It's funny how have kept our brotherhood all these years, and how we've been trying to, facilitate the engagement on putting people together and talk about social issues. In the long short of it, my name is Kulane, as I explained. I'm a social activist, and I'm in South Africa, Durban. And right now, I am working for the medical school UKZN as a community research officer.
Okay.
My dream is to see a healthy brain of a human being. That's my dream. So currently, I am campaigning for mental well-being in South Africa, Durban. Thank you.
Thanks, Casey. Lovely. Anyone else? Some more people coming in. Tanya,
Thanks.
you're saying something? Tanya, you want to come in? No. Okay. Tanya is going to come in with a big bang anyway. Any friends want to come in and share a little bit? Last few names, few more people.
Hello.
Smile. Yeah.
Hello. Hello, I am Rashid from Sri Lanka. I'm also a student of Dr. Shanta, sir. I'm also doing undergraduate at BN Youth and Community Development.
Beautiful. Welcome. Okay. More?
Hello. Yes, hello.
Yes. Speak up. We can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Right, so I'm Pearson Malinda from Malawi. I work with the government as a youth development officer. I'm also one of the people who founded a foundation called Child and Youth Connect Foundation. So I dedicate much of my free time when I'm out of my official duty working for the foundation.
Nice.
Thank you.
Thank you. Beautiful. Okay, folks. Some folks from India want to say anything? Quickly.
Hello, my name is Salek Innocent from Nigeria. I work with Federal Minister of Youth Development. Thank you.
Beautiful.
Hi, I'm Kanika from India, Community the Youth Collective and Vitally Coalition. Just thrilled to be here. So lovely to see so many youth workers in one place.
Hi, I'm Manisha. I'm also from Community the Youth Collective and so happy to be here.
Lovely. I saw Tamara walk in. Tamara, are you here somewhere? Love to hear you. I can't see you on the screen though. Okay, never mind. Nagma. Sorry, some names that I can recognize, I'm trying to draw them out into the camera, but it's okay.
I can see Rick Kelly on there who's giving me beard envy. Rick, are you in Canada?
Yes, that's what he said, Canada.
Canada, yeah, I thought so. Nice to see you, brother.
Yes, I am.
Woo!
North of Toronto, Ontario.
Beautiful. Welcome.
Yes.
Okay, super fun. Yeah, Rama, you can come in. No, Rama, come. All these folks who are typing, Rama can just show up. Can we see you?
Hello, this is Rama from India and basically a youth worker. And I'm also part of a grant making organization and we work with partners working with adults and girls and young women. Hi, Ashraf.
Beautiful. Okay, friends, lovely. I think we can continue the introductions on chat now. I think it's been a great start hearing voices from everywhere. If there are some few burning voices who still want to come in, we've got a few more minutes before we start the formal session. I think just take a minute. Anyone wants to say?
Hi everyone, this is Asim. I'm from India as well. I teach in a university where we don't have a youth studies as such, but I do teach a course on youth and democracy. And good to be here. Nice to hear everyone.
Yoo-hoo. Hey, lovely. Yes, I saw Ravi put on the camera, but you were going to say something? No, your mic is not
We
working.
can't hear you, Ravi.
No?
Yeah, yes, now.
Okay.
Yes.
Hi. Hi, everyone. This is Ravi. I run an organization called iSaksham, which works in Bihar state of India. Our model is working with young women and develop them as change leaders so that they learn to speak up for their aspirations and fight for their say in the decision making table. Very happy to be part of this. Thank you.
So beautiful. Okay. I think if we have time in the middle, we can see, or in the end, those who have not had moments to share, we can bring them up again. Otherwise, just welcome, very, very special welcome to all of you. And so beautiful that, at least many of our voices are already in the room and the session has started. So I'm very, very happy. Pooja was going to introduce me. Sorry, Pooja, I've just jumped in. But the fun of seeing old timers here, just too much for me. And I just decided. So thank you, Pooja, for starting us off. I just want to welcome all of you. And as you all know, and you already know, you are here to listen to a very, very beautiful person, Tanya Merrick. She's going to be the lead facilitator. I am Ashraf. I am with Community, the Youth Collective. I've also been part of the founding team of Commonwealth Alliance of Youth Workers Association. And I'm very happy to be the first host. This is this odd thing. I'm the small host. I just wanted to introduce Tanya because she's an old friend. That's why I'm here. But Pooja is going to anchor the session where Tanya will lead facilitate. So very special welcome to all of you. And thank you so much, Tanya. I want to begin with just sending lots of love, lots of energy and lots of strength. As some of you may not know, and many of you would know, there is a hurricane in Jamaica. Tanya is from Jamaica, and regardless of who is here from Jamaica or not, sending lots of strength to everybody there to cope with the situation. And this is the time for prayers that things will recover soon. So just sending love to everybody and acknowledging what a world we live in and what are the realities that all of us are part of in different parts of the world. Thank you so much, Tanya, for still being with us here. A little bit about Tanya. I have known Tanya, so a little bit personal, and then I will share. I've known Tanya, like I said, as the Times in 2016 and a little bit earlier when we met in the Commonwealth Youth Program conferences, and always found Tanya to be this most fiery, exciting, very passionate youth worker. We were very much younger then, and we really, really learned a lot. I really learned a lot from you, Tanya, and it's such a special privilege for me to be on this side hosting you. I remember the times of setting up the collectives and the association and the debates and the discussions. And what I really love about you, Tanya, is you stand up for what is important and you are not afraid to bring to the table the issues that matter, which sometimes in the politeness of the world we are not able to confront. And therefore, you really have shown me how we can move the conversation to really hit what is needed to be discussed on the table. So really, as a strong activist and an advocate of youth work is how I have known you, and of social justice issues. So that's why this session is so very special, because we are talking about the social justice lens in youth work. A little bit about Tanya. Tanya is a youth development practitioner and a social development expert with over 25 years experience. She began her journey as a faith-based youth volunteer drawing support, supporting young people in volatile and inner city communities. I think we need, inner city communities in Jamaica. Her early volunteering work with the government of Jamaica's youth department inspired her to formally study youth development. Despite being mocked by family and friends for pursuing a path they did not understand, And I think this is an experience many of us will resonate with in youth work, how difficult it is to get into this field and stay in it. Just connecting to that experience of yours, Tanya, maybe we can pin Tanya now, it will be good so that people can, sorry, you have, thank you so much. Tanya became a youth empowerment officer, passionately working across the length and breadth of Jamaica, and expanded her reach as a pioneer in youth development training across the Caribbean and Commonwealth. She has been the lead speaker at many Commonwealth conferences, and of course, she's now the co-chair of the Commonwealth Alliance of Youth Workers Association. In 2006, she was recognized as the best student in the Caribbean Caucus for Youth Development Work, a distinction that reflects her dedication and expertise. Academically, a little bit about her, she's a graduate in the International University of the Caribbean and the University of the West Indies. And she studied community development and development studies. She's not just a youth worker, she's many more. And as again, that's something about youth workers in general. You can never box them in a corner into one space. So she's into agriculture, entrepreneurship, social entrepreneurship, not-for-profit organization management, social justice, and she also consults with corporate businesses on youth and community development strategies. Tanya has been a vocal advocate of professionalization of youth work, and she is convening, as many of you know, it's there in her introduction, the Jamaica Professional Youth Workers Association. In addition to the professional work, Tanya is also, and this is something I discovered now, and Tanya, I think we have to get to know each other better. It's amazing. Every time we introduce you, we learn something new about you. You're an accomplished author, writing fiction, youth development literature, and nonfiction. So we can ask her some questions today about that. She's the creator of the Eternal series, a book series for teens and youth that reflects a commitment to inspiring and empowering young leaders. So all in all, just very happy to have Tanya here. Through her relentless dedication, she has become a transformative force, blending scholarship, practical experience, advocacy, and creativity to empower youth and influence communities across the world. I think we need a lot more to share about you, but I will stop here and want to straight away go into giving you a warm hug, lots of love, and really looking forward to you taking us today into a very exciting conversation that will help us get deeper into understanding what are the challenges of youth work in these times and how to look at them with a social justice lens. So Tanya, bringing you into the mainstream, main focus, over to you, beginning with lots of love. Thank you.
Namaste. Big up on yourself. Big up on yourself today. I am Tanya Merrick. I rather to be called TanYah Global. That's my thing I do with my family. We have like a little inter-family radio station, and then I get on there and I get to be real raw Jamaican kind of Tanya. But my author name is TanYah Global as well, and that's just who I am. I work globally, and I thank you for the well wishes. It's just beyond words. Every night I just go to my bed because I cry and then I go to sleep because it's that bad. I had just finished building a house for my aunt, and that's my aunt that when we were living in the inner city, we were suffering, hungry. I had to be admitted in the hospital because I didn't eat for a week. We didn't have food. We were that poor. You know, people don't know people that poor in Jamaica back in the day. And that was my aunt. She was a day's worker. She would wash people's dirty clothes, clean their house. She didn't have kids. She had one son. And she would come and help us. She would give us food. You know, she was the only person our whole lives. And so we had just built a house for her, just finished the house. After 3 years, and the hurricane come and destroy the house, you know. We had built a little shop for her to do so she could have income, and the shop blew away, you know. So I have to laugh because it is just, it's like bombs dropped. And So I appreciate your love, because that's what we need right now. We need a lot of it. And so we continue. But I thank you because, you know, Ash asked, do you want to do the dialogue? Yes, because youth development is my blood. It's my Krypton. You see, this my superwoman, my I don't know which way I'm pointing, but my superhero Tanya is up there somewhere. And the youth development is my lifeline. Like, it became my lifeline literally as a young person, volunteering when I saw people that had 2 babies who couldn't read. You know how you have 2 babies and you can't read? And I just dived headway in. I didn't break my neck, but I got a lot of bruises. And over 25 years later, I'm still here. And I find youth development as a practice still very relevant. I find the science of youth development still extremely relevant. Even in the 4th technological era, there is so much of the science that makes sense and we can use to help the young people to develop these new skills that they will need to survive. And so I have continued. So today the conversation is a conversation, and anybody that's been in a session with me, the South Africans know that Tanya don't play with virtual. As much as it's virtual, we can feel each other's energy still. Ash, I can feel your love. Yes, I'm projecting that love, I'm projecting that resilience as a proud Jamaican, a proud Pan-African, just a proud woman, just a proud youth development practitioner. We say youth development to the world. And that's why we're having these dialogues, because we're tired of saying we're going to do it and we never did it. So Ash and I decided, yo, we're going to do this thing. We don't care. We're going to just do it. If it's 2 of us, 3 of us, 10 of us, we're going to do it. And so please raise your hand, come into the conversation. I'm not going to do all of that. We're not doing that. We're doing youth work style facilitation. And so the conversation is social justice. As a Jamaican, living in Jamaica, Jamaica has inspired so many revolts and rebellions. Our singers, our lecturers, were pioneers in youth development, community development across the Caribbean, across the world. But Jamaica has become very docile. I'm not afraid to tell you. And so social justice has become hidden. It's become something that the government pushes. And so as youth workers who are by definition social justice agents, because we're social and political educators, that seem to become less and less of what we do. We became, to some extent, tools of social engineering. And that's a question somebody asked Pooja about youth leadership, and we'll answer it later. And so we sought to revive social justice as a key concept that needs to inform our practice. So it's social justice informed youth development work, and it deals with the 3 main keys. Like, we just deal with 3 keys: equity, equality, and fairness. And we know equity is about equal access. I might not need the same access as you need. You might need some more. So we have to deal with redistribution, right? So there's a lot of redistribution to ensure access. Then we talk about equality. We're talking about our rights. Everybody have the same rights. Yes, we might not need different access. And we have to approach youth work in a rights-based approach. And we, of course, have to let the voices of the young people be heard. And then we talk about fairness. Like, how do we approach it? We approach it with fairness. And so that's the conversation today. We do talk, of course, about intersectionality, but we'll talk about it later. But those are the 3 things when we talk about social justice we're talking about. Fundamentally, we break it down from all the jargon. You're going down to the base. What is social justice? And we know social justice is a system. It's created by culture, ideologies, and then it is a system that breeds itself, right? So it's a cyclical thing. It came from somewhere, and then it causes other things, and it creates its own culture. And so that's the conversation. So now I'm going to hand over to Pooja, and she's gonna lead us somewhere.
Thank you so much, Tanya, for setting the context with so much love and energy. Trying to keep up with that. So now since we will be talking about social justice, I'll just throw in a very simple question. What are the first words that comes to your mind when you hear the word social justice? And Manisha will be putting a Mentimeter link in the chat. We can go on that link, or we can scan this QR code, and just fill in any words that come to your mind when you think of the word social justice.
Yeah, Pooja, you need to check your connection. That's all. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Those of you who don't have access to maybe connect to the Mentimeter, you can put your word when you hear the word social justice, you can put it in the chat as well, and we'll add that.
Manisha, let's bring the back this word cloud now on screen. Let's see the responses that we are getting on the Mentimeter. Yeah. So there's inclusion, interpersonal, respect to all. Manisha, please put it on full screen. Yeah. Yeah. So inclusion, compassion, love, Ubuntu. I know that's Robin there, putting in his love. Respect to all, fairness, equity. Equity is a big one, so a lot of people have been using that word. Diversity, well-being for all, interpersonal, truth, allyship, a voice for the voiceless. Loretto is saying that's true. Rights, yeah, courage, values, principles, change. Yeah. Thank you so much for bringing all of this, and we'll be talking about all of this and more, and we'll also try to unpack it further, what social justice means and how can we integrate into our work with young people. Tanya, bringing you back now.
Okay, good. And so now we're going to break out because this is a dialogue and we want to talk. And this is a learning space. I'm learning from you. When we do social justice training with practitioners and with young people, just the strangest things come out, things that I was never exposed to, people were exposed to. And so we want you to share so that we can all learn. And this is also a methodology for a youth worker to really own a concept, for a youth worker to really apply a concept, for anybody really. I don't know how people learn, but if learning takes place, it changes behavior. And for that to happen, we kind of have to engage with the personal. So when we are training youth workers in whatever area, whether it's basic youth work, it's always to have them engage with the concepts as a person. How did this look in my youth? How did this look in my life? How does this look in my life? And when they are able to first connect, and Ash is always talking about the humanity to it and, really connecting as people. And when I can connect that concept to me as a person first, because I'm first a person, then I can take it over to my practice. People like to act like, oh, I can put it in my practice like I'm some abstract creation and not put it in my personal. My personal is my foundation. And so for a youth worker to apply any concept, for a young person to apply any concept, you must first pin it onto the scaffolding of their own lived experience. And so let's break out in groups. Let's have conversation. We want to hear each other. If you're having a problem with your mic, use up the chat. But let's talk. So we're going to be broken out in groups now.
Yeah. Manisha, can we have the question slide? Let's see the question once before we head out into the breakout rooms.
And we have some words in the chat: dignity, rights, fair and equalness, all of those.
Yeah. So how have our life experiences shaped the way we view equity, fairness, equality in our work with young people now? And we'll go into breakout rooms. We'll have 15 minutes in total. And let's keep these can be self-facilitated groups, but there will be somebody from the team who will also try to nudge the conversations further, so all of us can get time to share our experiences. Yeah, and these are some, I think Paulette didn't make it today, but these are some of the breakout hosts who are joining us. And Tobishi and Robin and Sanjay are all people who have joined us in the last dialogue that we did last month, and here they are as co-creators of this dialogue. And in addition to them, there's also Kanika, and I will also be in sort of host. And Paulette is here. Lovely, good to have you, Paulette. Yeah, so now I'm starting the room. So if you can all just click on your screens and join the breakout room that we are going into. All the best and have fun.
Okay, great. So we're coming back from the breakout sessions. And if there's anybody that wants to share, you feel like you want to share, we can have a couple people share the injustice that they identified from their own personal experience that's informing their work. Anybody want to share?
Hi, Tanya. Oh, Mark, yeah, Mark, go first.
Oh, me?
The picture just popped out.
Okay. No, we had discussion. I mean, you know, for me, it was about social justice, the commitment we have to actually understand social justice. And I'm saying, living in England, there's not much of a commitment to support young people to overstand social justice. So we build skills with young people. We're committed to building skills. That was the difference what we had with other areas of the world. A lot of young people go to school, but they're not really equipped to actually understand politically what social justice means. And that's my fear around social justice, about who drives the agenda of social justice. And that's the bit which I feel that as youth workers, we're most equipped to do. But obviously we're under-resourced. we're kind of like, we as a profession don't have a strong voice in decision-making sort of like spaces, and let alone the young people who we work with who are consistently marginalized. So for me, there's always a contradiction in youth work, but what do we mean by social justice? It means about redressing inequality, and we know there's a business there. And that's our challenge. That's our challenge.
Yes. Yes, that's interesting, and I can corroborate that as our reality, because in Jamaica, young people do have access to leadership. Like, we have become very strong in terms of youth inclusion, but because we have not prepared them, just like you say, we haven't prepared them to engage with politics in terms of a social justice mechanism, very quickly they turn and they begin to sound just like the policies that don't benefit them and the politicians that don't benefit them. I mean, I've sat in meetings and just thought to myself, is this like did the politician possess this youth council leader? You know? So you are right. But sometimes, additionally, some of us as youth workers, we don't understand social justice. And that's what I have seen as well. So somehow our roles as political educators has been minimized almost to invisibility. So thank you so much. All right, Lerato, you're up.
Thanks, Tanya. Just to add on what Mark was saying, we shared a couple of pointers, especially when coming to policy, that you'll find there's a lot of tick boxes when coming to policy of young people being involved in decision making. And when you look at the stats, there's a lot of young people, but there's a minimal of them actually know the power that they have. And the voices that they actually do take out in some of these sessions, there's no gain out of that. The reason behind it is because politics are still at play in a huge mark where it's just done for the tick boxing out of it. It's not really done for the impact purposes. So I believe as youth workers, one of the challenges that we are going to face and are still facing is how do we now tap into platforms and actually be change makers? Actually seeing if we are 79 in this platform and seeing that some of the inputs are actually within that document. Because most of the time we do share such aspects, but ideally, when you look at the overall document, it's not there, you know? So how do we now tap into, and most of the time you'll find that what happens within politics, they divide powers, you know, to a point where you have youth divisions in every single department, but you do not have a tap in within one single department. So Department of Justice will have its own youth development fora. The Department of Legislation will have its own youth development fora. So there's no stabilized platform that allows the voices of young people to be heard and centralized and actually have an impact in that instance. Yeah, thanks.
Hallelujah. I felt the spirit a while ago. I don't know about anybody else. I almost felt like I was in youth development church. I was like preaching. I wanted to just be beating Larato to continue because it's really the same in Jamaica. There's a fragmentation and there's no willingness to name a body to coordinate. So because to coordinate means that that voice would maybe become a little loud, maybe too loud. And so we have to understand that there is an element of social engineering involved in community youth and social development. And we have to guard ourselves as practitioners to be careful, you know, that which tool are we, you know, who's using us? And because social justice is a monster of a system, and it is easy for us to become weapons to recreate that same injustice, that same inequality, and reinforce the inequity. So thank you so much, Larato. As I say, hallelujah, felt that youth development work practice church. Anybody else would like to share?
Yes, Shanta here.
Shanta and then Joyce. Okay, go.
Yeah, in Sri Lanka, actually young people, they were able to throw away a government using the power of young people, re-establish the new social fabric, right? New government, new justice, kind of a social justice system. After sending the old establishment and creating a new establishment, and now we are the young people enjoying a new passage of life. So that part of social justice.
Good. Thank you. Thank you for that, Pooja. One of the things that when we're doing social justice and as social and political educators is we have to be very careful because it was intentional that our capacity was not built to be what we are supposed to be. And so even in training youth workers and young people in social justice, I am very careful but strategic. We are teaching the concepts, training them in the concept, the basic foundation. And somebody asked a question, I think it was from the UK, how do we then include politics? That once you set the foundation for social justice and the practitioner understands the basic concepts of equity and equality and fairness, and they're informing their practice, it means they're modeling that, right? And then they're going beyond that, because if I talk about equity and I do not advocate for the redistribution, so if I'm saying young farmers in Jamaica don't have the same access from the support services as an adult farmer, and if I have to go to the support services and advocate for and then with the young person, then equity is not equity. Just saying that it is inequitable is not enough. I have to now become a part of a collective, which is what I love with India, why I have so many collectives in India. I have to become a part of a collective that will now collaborate to engage with the inequity, right? I cannot just, it's not enough to give the young people a forum to say I don't have equity. I have to now work with the system. Two, I have to learn to use my data. I have to go to the Ministry of Agriculture and say, hey, I have 1,000 young farmers who did not get that hurricane relief. They're not, and so equity for a youth worker is not enough to facilitate me understanding it. But now I have to, as a youth worker, position myself to advocate in a professional way for the young people and to help to give them the access to be able to advocate for this redistribution. If there's no redistribution, then it's still just inequity. And so giving practitioners the basic abilities to be able to inform their practice and then to engage young people and then to go and engage with the system is the beginning of the political action. And then I have found, now that we've done social justice, okay, the young people are identifying the social justice issues left, right, and center in their lives. What does the political system look like? We don't have civics, so most of us don't understand the process. We don't understand the governance structures, the accountability agencies. We don't understand it, so they continue to not have that accountability. So now we move on to another level of our role as educators now, to educate the young people in terms of the system, the political systems, and how to maneuver that. And so it's a building. So the person who asked the question, like, how do you bring in the politics? We operate apolitically as youth workers, but our work is political because we are trying to shift that power to the young people. And so equity is one of the biggest parts of social justice. There has to be a redistribution, and that's where we come in. So anybody else? So I'm giving the dialogue body while we're sharing. Anybody else want to share? I know in
Hello?
India, somebody talked about the caste system, and I'm very interested to hear how the caste system contributes and what that looks like, because some of us from other parts of the world, we don't have that. So Joyce, and then I'd love to hear from India.
Should I say what I wanted to say or go quick?
Joyce, you're breaking up. You are kind of moving so slow that we can't hear you. You might maybe have
Hello?
to. Yes, we're hearing you now.
Hello? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Joyce. Go ahead.
Hello? You can hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. You might have to stop sharing your camera.
You can hear me?
Yes.
Can I talk?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. In Namibia, young people are torturing us. Yeah, they don't want to be beneficiaries anymore. They are bringing chair to the table. They are complaining about unemployment and access to quality education. They are complaining that all benefits that have been given to the government are just meant by the government to be given to them. They want themselves to say, what do we want the government to do for us, instead of the government doing things of their own and just deliver them. This is what we have for you. This is a program we want to Namibian young people to be educated or to be given. They are refusing. They are now refusing. They want themselves to issue what they want to do in this country of Namibia. Not for the government to decide what they want the young people to do. And they are not that much involved. And they are not that much involved in politics. They just see politics as something for elder people. So they need awareness also, as you said. We have to train them to be politicians for tomorrow, to be leaders for tomorrow. When it comes to politics here in Namibia, but everything has been ruled by politics. But the young people here in Namibia are not really they are not really aware of the responsibility of citizens. Not really. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Joyce, thank you for that. You see, we see that across Africa. We see the young people, and I like what you said. You said that they're bringing the chair to the table. I like that. I'm gonna have to use that one. So we're not waiting for you to give us a seat. We're bringing our own chair to the table. And that's a result of continued injustice, continued exclusion, continued inequity, limited inequality, unfairness. That's the result now, where we are no longer willing to sit and wait. We are coming. And that we see that across Africa. So thank you so much for that, Joyce.
Mm.
And
They are
then I said,
fearful.
yes,
Okay, I said they are fearful. They are not like us when we are growing up. We need people to tell us. Them, they can tell you what they want.
yes, yes.
Mm.
They are fearless. All right.
Fearless,
So
fearless.
Aruna, I see the hand.
Yeah, it's very short. It's not a question about the young people giving the opportunity to involve in politics. It is a question about the inclusion. I mean, wherever, whatever happening in the governance systems, they should feel that they are part of the system. So the problem is that they don't feel that they are part of the system. So I mean, the youth workers, as youth workers, our responsibility is to highlight or the uplift the knowledge of political literacy of the young people, because taking leadership in the government or having position is not that giving rightful place to youth. It is the feeling that we have to create all the young people that they are part of this society and they have the right place. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for that. Satya?
Yeah.
Go
Hi.
ahead. And then Meet up Boosie.
Yeah, hi, Tanya. And thank you, everyone. Thanks, CYC, also for organizing this interesting international exchange. So I'm Satya, and I work here with socially excluded young people in the country. And when you were talking about the people mostly affected by caste and its structure, so I come from the Dalit community, one of the community which is affected by the caste system. So and I have traveled, like I have uh, journeyed from being in exclusion to creating inclusive path for many young people. So that's how I'm a youth worker trying to build equitable and inclusive path for young people. So when in India, basically, I just wanted to echo with what you were saying also, is that I don't know, like that, like India, if you see the population percentage of India of young people, almost half of India's population, like 49% of India's population, young population, is socially excluded. They are excluded just because who they are, where they are born, not because they are poor or they don't have access to something, but because of their born identity, which is a very big challenge of Indian context. It's a English challenge, because when you see, like, the people who are affected, born within the certain by caste system, like they're affected by caste system, then you have religious religious exclusion, then you have nomadic tribe and nomadic tribe community which are excluded. Then you have certain LGBTQI community people. Like, if you see the excluded population mass, it's very big. And this is where we keep working and keep saying that the social justice lens, what you are talking about and what we are now discussing from different angle, is the lens, is the bigger lens which can only empower the young people in India also. And the social justice lens, what you were talking about, that if the young people, half of India's population, do not feel that there is a path for equity and inclusive world, they are just left out. And they're left out in such a way, the extreme left out, that if you go to the university education system, the access to higher education is so low for this population. The access to capital is so low for this people, for this population. Access to different ways to nurture my leadership is so much difficult, that the entire population is not able to, we are like, I always say that we are not able to reach out to the larger population yet. And somewhere I think this lens to start thinking around and start putting it into all the practices of that, everything what we do, social justice lens will help to recognize, not only recognize, but I always go till the state of reparative justice. Like, they are historically marginalized. So how do you reparate this historical marginalization of the entire population? And where is this reparative justice for these people? It's not today's, it's historical. So something which requires a bigger lens and a bigger space and something which helps people to feel that they can do much bigger than what is available for them right now. So that way, I really love to work with the excluded young people because they have the appetite for their change, the feeling, the everything is so high that you always feel energetic and you feel like working. And what you are talking about, like access to state schemes, access to constitutional rights, access to remedy of my any exclusion which is which is happening every day, and access to all the youth spaces where I can feel that I'm not excluded, I'm included everywhere, all this, it's so important. So I really echo and I really love this dialogue. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. I find my counterpart. I found my counterpart. So Pooja, remind me when we're done that this person and I found my kindred in social justice. And what he's saying is so correct. Like, it's to put the lens on. For me as a practitioner who was living in a docile state, even the great work I was doing, when I put my social justice lens on, it's like I was mind blown, because everywhere I'm working with a group of young farmers and they would just be so apathetic and just frustrated with their situation. But then when you put that social justice lens on them and they begin to see, okay, so that's what inequity looks like, and that's how equality is, and unfairness, and they begin to name it, then they're able to know to go and engage with the system to say that this is not fair, this is not equity, this is not equality, and be able to come together now to advocate for themselves. And that's, I love that. That's like he just affirmed what I've experienced as a practitioner. We have to put the lens on. All right, thank you so much. I see a hand. Simalain, I'm not going to do injustice to your first name. Go ahead.
Yeah, and Tanya, just before that,
hello.
Just watch on the time for the segments. Just,
Okay,
go.
good. Let me go back to my time. All right, go ahead, Simalain.
Okay. Yeah, it's Tobisi Simelane from the Kingdom of Eswatini. In Eswatini, young people are just in a boiling pot. About 70% of the young people here in Eswatini are unemployed, but they got the skills. I'm a part of those victims. I just my contract was not renewed just because I went to a meeting, then I voiced my opinion as a young people talking about living with HIV and access to just a simple antiretroviral drugs. So I was working in research. So my contract wasn't renewed because my superiors were doing what is called exploitation or decoration. All the documents are good, almost even in the whole system of the country, because I was one in AU, African Union, Youth Charter for Eswatini. I advocated that we have a separate Ministry of Youth and in factional youth parliament, but that document was put in a dustbin because it was politicized. So even now in my spheres, because now I'm currently volunteering, not working, I'm currently volunteering as a board member for the Eswatini Network of Young Positives, where I amplify my voice especially in the public health system, that young people should be strategic. We shouldn't focus on one platform. We should be diverse. Climate change, someone will be focusing on health. Someone is focusing on policies. Someone will focus in many dimensions, because now because there was a recent in 2021, 22, where there was an unrest, which I also suffered some consequences which are available online. Maybe I will share it in our email, the link of the whole story, because it was published, because I was a victim of brutality, because the violation of rights, especially for young people in the country, is still active. And for me, I won't keep off my social lens. I will keep on fighting until the end. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And thank you for that sobering reminder that when we engage in social justice as social political educators, and then we empower young people, that sometimes the young people are going to face reprisals. And we've had that in Jamaica. We've had a group of young people who had to leave the country, flee the country for their advocacy. And so it is a real issue. And that's why, as a practitioner, I take it from the perspective that I do. First, to educate the youth worker so that they can inform their practice. So they're operating, ensuring that their programs have equal access. They're upholding the equal rights and justice of all the young people they're engaging. They're engaging with the young people with fairness, means that their dignity and their diversity is embraced and there is inclusion. So first, I am doing it. I'm not going to be a sayer and not a doer. And then I'm going to facilitate that with the young people, the youth leaders and other young people, for them to develop that skill. The first intent is for me to develop that as a person, put on my own glasses, and then for me to then engage with the system. Because I have to be convinced in my own mind the issues that I'm standing for, because there are sometimes reprisals. As a practitioner, I have faced a lot of that. And so thank you so much. That's a very sobering thought from a young person as to the impact of social justice when you really take it to them, what can happen. So now we're going to move into another segment. But I just want to clarify something. So when we talk about these three pillars, basically, in terms of youth work, we want to, when we're putting on our practice lens, so when we're putting on our practice lens for equity, we want to ensure that systems are adjusted to meet the diverse needs, and systems exist within my practice, right? So whether it's how I give an opportunity or who I include for different groups of activities, I have to make sure that there's a system in place to ensure that based on the diversity of the young people I'm engaging with, there's a system that ensures all of them have access, and access doesn't look the same. Everybody knows this picture. Everybody knows this picture. Everybody seen my screen. Everybody knows this picture of equality. And equality is all of us have the ability to watch the ball game over the fence. But equality is not always equitous. It means that although I have the opportunity to watch the ball game, I might not be able to, because I might need a redistribution of the resources. So the person who doesn't need that, it would be redistributed to me so that I can access. So that's what we talk about when we say redistribution. I think this picture is time old. It shows what equity looks like, and we have to do that for our practice first. In terms of fairness, we have to make sure that we promote decisions that promote dignity and justice. That's just point blank, period. We have to model it, then we have to facilitate that with the young people so that they can facilitate that with themselves, within their families, within their communities, and in the society. So everything is a building. Simple. Sometimes we like to get all elaborate. We just need to be simple as practitioners. So we have to understand that youth work comes from somewhere. Modern youth work comes from somewhere. There are some ideologies that shape youth work. And so youth work originally came from, a way of control, the functionalist way to see society as this order and wanting young people to submit to this order. And we heard a lot of that from the Indians in the conversation. But there's also an evolution of those ideologies. And when we talk about social justice, we see a lot of the work of Paulo Freire, and the whole consciousness raising. And consciousness raising is a very African concept as well. I think it's a very indigenous concept. Everybody's culture sees it in different ways. In Jamaica, we talk about reasoning and consciousness and reasoning a lot, because it's about helping people to see, to critically assess their situation so that they can see the injustice in their situation and be able to apply measures first to themselves and then outward. Because we talk about the governments being tokenistic, using youth development tokenistically. I don't think that's going to change, because I see younger politicians coming up. And if we thought the older politicians were rough, when you don't have a compassionate leader, it doesn't matter their age. Trust me, they're difficult people. So we have to ensure that we are encouraging youth leaders to take on social justice as lens for their own lives and then in their work, because we're seeing the rise sometimes of leaders who lack integrity and compassion. So the ideologies of youth work have changed, but although they have changed, some of them still inform our practice today. So we still see a lot of treatment model taking place in youth work, where we're trying to re-socialize, rehabilitate, redirect, recondition our young people. And we should not be named among those doing that, because we know that young people are in a cycle of development, and we need to infuse positive factors and influences to get them to continue their development positively. So I'm going to take a break here to ask a question, right? I want to, because this is a dialogue. What in your work, what type of system governs your work? So we talked about youth work being informed by ideologies. We talk about the functionalists, and they always say don't assume people know. We talk about the functionalist approach, which gives us a treatment model type of youth work, where young people are this disease, this sickness that we're trying to cure. And so, everything is geared at controlling them, controlling the spread of disease, right? And I think we should be far gone from that, but I see it still. And then we have youth work as this consciousness raising, where we're trying to raise the consciousness of young people. And additionally, not only raise their consciousness now, but we're trying to get them to embrace their potentials, embrace the positiveness to them, so that they can use these assets of energy and creativity and dynamism. Like you see me going with all of this energy. This is my youthful exuberance that I'm allowing to unleash on you. I didn't have any breakfast this morning. I didn't even drink a cup of tea. I think I had a little water, right? But this is the energy, this is the passion, this is the creativity that comes. And so how can we get our young people to embrace that? So in your work, what is guiding the work that you do in your country? That's not the right question. In your country, what is the dominant approach to youth work? That's a better question. I think that's where it's at, because I think we are in this group because we are trying to apply positive youth development models. So in your country, what's the dominant approach to youth work?
So, ma'am, in India, government looking towards them through economic lens only. They are not thinking about the youth-centric approach and the social justice approach. So,
Okay, thank you. So in India, the economic approach. Anybody else?
I would say the same for England. I'd say it's an economic approach.
And what does that look like, Mark?
It's all about outcomes. So it's all about measurable outcomes. So when we're talking about consciousness, and it's very difficult to measure the consciousness of people, of course. So when you've got to draw resources, money down in order to work with young people, then people want to see measurable outcomes. And that's our challenge. So in a way, social justice has been reduced, really and truly, to just some abstract ideas, really and truly, because it's never been interrogated enough by people who have a commitment to equality, redistribution of wealth, about actually parity. No, no one's really invested that critical theory into that, really and truly. And that's our challenge with young people, that nobody's investing in young people to actually be able to develop that critical lens the same way. So young people are now inadvertently, but probably advertently through functionalism, been educated through iPhone and bits and pieces, because that satisfies the status quo. It just perpetuates more inequality, and it doesn't really it reduces people the ability to challenge. And when we do challenge, of course, then we've got a load of legal implications about our right to protest, our right to challenge, and we have to be very careful. And that's where, as youth workers, we have to be so careful about burning Babylon, because in essence, we're setting young people up. We're setting them up. And that's not what we're about. We're about safeguarding young people. So where's the line still here? It's difficult, man.
Yes.
Difficult.
Yeah, it's difficult. It's difficult. One of the things I try to do is I try to encourage them to build. I work a lot with Dr. Kadama Winnaife. He's the head of social entrepreneurship at University of the West Indies. He's a Rasta man, straight up organic. And one of the things we do is build from the ground. So we do engage policy, we do engage policymakers, we do engage the system. Yes, we do. But we know how hard it is, and we know that we don't go with a false hope. We go doing it because that's the right thing to do. But then we build from the ground. So we work the resources that we do get, we put it back down to the ground, and we build organizations from the ground. We build resources, entrepreneurs, sectors, industries from the ground. We're not sitting and waiting on the government, because we know that that will bust heart, right? So while we engage with the systems at the top, we're building from the ground. So we're kind of doing a centric approach and hoping that we'll eventually meet in the middle. Because like him said, we can set up our young people for hell, and we can frustrate ourselves at the same time. So work with the ground, build from the ground, help the young people to develop skills, economic, social, political, environmental, all the skills that they need to build from the ground while they advocate and lobby at the top at the same time. So thank you so much for that. And we'll now have Tanya.
Hey, thank you. Wonderful listening to all of you. Just in addition to what's being talked about, how Mark brought in the thing around status quo, something that we have been practicing also at Dream a Dream is in this idea of investing in loss. And when I say investing in loss, I mean investing in loss of the ideas and the way we look at success for young people. Right now it's only serving the status quo, keeping the status quo, perpetuating the oppression, marginalization, because the way we are defining success is in a very pragmatic way, which is serving only the ones with privilege and is perpetuating the marginalization. So this is what we are attempting to kind of bring in the system leaders who are at a positional power, sitting with privileged identities, and having them to look at investing in loss of these ideas that have worked for them because they held privilege. So just this idea I wanted to seed here around investing in loss of my privilege, investing in loss of my idea that has served me. And therefore that stops me from thinking about creating more opportunities and spaces for equity and inclusion.
Thank you so much. I love that. How we define success. And I think that's like, it's so simple, but it's like the highest level of breaking the social norms, and the societal norms of how we are facilitating young people. And that's something I had to learn as a mother when I had a child that comes from a wealthy family, and he went to the university, and then he called and said, I'm not going to continue because I don't see this as giving me the skills I want. I don't see this is not for me. And to see his wealthy family spaz out and flip out, because if you don't have a master's and a doctorate, you're nobody, And to see him now do his thing, he's a BMW specialist and he loves it. And to see him doing his thing and loving it without the norms that his family says he's supposed to have, and encouraging him from the age of 18 as a young entrepreneur, failing, going back up, learning the lessons, not even failing, falling sometimes. And so I like that concept because sometimes that can bring peace to young people. Because what does success really look like? And whose models are we following? And what equity and equality and as a result, fairness are we pursuing in that? So I'd love to hear some more. That's something, Ash, I'd love to have a session where some of these very beautiful concepts people could come and present and we learn from them. So thank you for that, Tanya. Because she has my name, that's why it's so good. Anybody else? Anybody else?
Yeah,
What's informing youth work in your country? Yes, Ravi.
Ravi had raised. Yeah.
Sure. No, just I think it's complementing the points all three of colleagues have shared. I think when it comes to government policy, there's so much focus on hard part of the problem, right? Which is creating infrastructure or giving cash transfers or creating training schemes, skill development schemes, etc. But what often missed out is the relationships aspect of the young people, right? How they are treated, the cultural aspect of how do we see young people, do their voices get enough respect when they walk into any institutions, are they treated with that dignity? So I think that relational, cultural and social dimensions is what we often miss out in the larger frame of ensuring that they experience justice, not only in the technical and legal terms of it, but also how they are treated and how they are seen and how they are valued.
Thank you so much. And that's the formula right there. Simple. Keeping it on that basic personal level, in terms of us modeling it, informing our practice, enabling them to do the same, because social justice is a big monster system. It's like huge. It takes in a lot of subcultures and subsystems, and it reproduces itself. And so if we as practitioners can begin to do that simple modeling and facilitation in our spaces, and then we can begin to shift what it reproduces, because we are infusing into that big beast of a system. Because as Ravi says, sometimes we try to take it from the more formal aspect, and then it is like a dragon, and it just whoosh and blow some fire and burn up the young people, burn up the youth workers, and just burn everybody. But if we can, from at that personal level, inform our practice, inform the youth in their practice, because youth leaders and young people have a practice too. It's a practice of youth. And then we can begin to infiltrate the beast in a more strategic way. We can have. So thank you so much for that, Ravi. Thank you so much for that. Anybody else? Anybody else? So one of the things I want to introduce, and India has a lot of it. You talk about intersectionality in social justice. And simply put, intersectionality is saying that Tanya is many people in one person. I have many identities. I am a mother, and then I'm not just a mother. I am a mother of older children. I have adult age children. One of my sons got married the other day. I have one of my sons has children. I am the mother of younger children, right? I am the mother of non-biological children, right? So if somebody was engaging me in like a support group as a mother, they would have to acknowledge that my motherhood has many definitions. I have many identities within that motherhood. And you have to recognize my identities so that you can support and facilitate equity, equality, and fairness to me as that. So when a young person who is a parent goes to school at 14 years of age in Jamaica, they're not just a student, they're a parent. So there might be an activity that impacts their ability to parent. And as a school administrator, I have to be aware of that dual identity of that underage student as a parent. And that's what intersectionality is. What additional barriers do my identities create? Young people, just on the basis of being young, face social injustice. So there's ageism. And as youth workers, older youth workers, we face ageism too because they expect us to be young and some of us are not young. And so there is ageism that young people face exclusion. They have barriers that are created just on account of being young. But then they have additional barriers. There might be a young mother. There might be a young father. They might be Black. In the US, that's an issue. Being a person of color might be an additional barrier. They might be gay or LGBTQ. They might be from a certain caste, right? So there are many different identities now that impact the additionality of social injustice on a young person. And that's something that we have to be aware of in our context because it complicates sometimes engaging with young people. And somebody said it, Mark said it, it's about the economics, it's about the outcome. So we want to know that we engage 10 out of school youth. We're not thinking that, hey, 5 of these out of school youths are parents. They don't have any income. They don't have nowhere to leave that baby. So that's going to impact their participation. So how can we? So I've had to have a program, and then I've had to have volunteers babysit the babies of the mothers who I'm trying to engage in the program, because if they carry their baby in, they're not going to be able to focus, and they can't leave their babies because they don't have nobody to leave their babies with. So they're not just young unattached women or girls, they're also young mothers. So they have other identities that I have to cater to. Some of them come from the poorest communities, so I have to bring food for them, but I also have to bring food for the babies, right? So there are many different identities when we talk about intersectionality that we have to be aware of, because sometimes we can violate young people. Sometimes we can add additional barriers to a young person because we took it for granted that they were just a young person coming into our program. Does anybody have a story or an instance where they were engaging a young person and they had to learn that this young person had multiple identities that they had to recognize to engage with them? Anybody? I shared a couple of mine with the young mothers. That's been like one of the hardest ones for me. And I find engaging with young parents very hard because the many hats they wear, it's challenging to be able to provide resources to respond.
Okay, I'd like to share.
Go ahead.
I'm Lisa Henry from Jamaica. We did a project, Tanya is aware of it, about, I think it was 3 years.
You cut out, Miss Henry.
No?
I know yes, go ahead. We're hearing you.
Right, and it was in Clarendon. No, I met a young lady. She wasn't yet 25, and she had about 6 children. She would not go anywhere, and things were really bad. When I went and looked at her house,
You're gone again, Miss Henry.
me now?
Yes.
A little one-room wooden shack that when rain fall, they get wet on the bed, clothes hang up on nail in barrel. It was really depressing. It was really frustrating. How do you help a young lady like that who is a mother? She dropped out from school. She was involved with a man from she was very young. All of these children, some of them not registered, their birth not registered, hers not registered. Her father died. He fell and hit his head and died, and some other challenges in their family, mental issue and so on. So it took a lot of sacrifice. People would say, we are bother with she for, say all she want do I have picnic, just want to read up and give them things. take care of the things, but she needed help to help change her mindset and other types of help, because here it was, she was having the children. Yes, the young man who she had most of the children for, he was not of any help and he would tell lies. So work with her, work with her, work with her, work with her until.
You gone again, Miss Henry? Well, I know the story. So Miss Henry had to work with her and work with her psychologically, work with her as a victim, because she really was a child victim. 6 children at 25. It means that something was happening when you were underage. And I know Miss Henry had to engage with the system. She had to go and advocate. And I know she was able to get help for housing because it's a young 25-year-old with 6 children in a shack. And she had, so we engage her about training, but her identity as a young mother, as somebody living in poverty, as a victim of abuse, living with your victimizer, not even understanding you're a victim, all of those things had to be engaged with. And it took a lot. It took a lot of personal resources, organizational resources, and then it took consistency to engage with the system to have resources redistributed to her. And it took a lot of cultural investment, because as Miss Henry said, people said this is a lost cause. 6 children at 25 in Jamaica is just something that's condemned. That's a lost cause. Leave her alone. She's just gonna have 4 more and have 10 by the time she's 20 to 30. So, but she continued. And so this is what we have to look at as a youth worker. How young people's multiple identities and situations have to be responded to. It's not a one size fit all. It is immensely hard work, but with love and compassion, we can achieve it. Does anybody else have a quick story?
I've got a quick one.
Yes,
Just different to that, it's just about young carers. So young people go to school, maybe late, maybe not turning up, get problematized. They get kind of like castigated for that. And then when you drill down into it, they're caring for a sick family member. They've got other things going on in their lives, which are for them more important than going to school. And we're continually fighting that on this, the notion of intersectionality, because there's a lot of multiple identities. That means you've got multiple things to think about, and multiple priorities as well. And but the system likes to create this. They like to be quite homogenous in the way in which they apply their judgments, as it were. And you know, a lot of young people are judged inappropriately for things which are out of their control, and they're actually trying to help other people. that's the mad thing.
Yes. And sometimes us as organizations, I get penalized a lot by donors because they want me to go in and just do this thing. And I'm trying to say, hey, when you're doing this thing, there's a whole belly of the beast under here that you, to be successful, I'm not giving you numbers. I'm going to give you the numbers, but I'm going to do a good job with the young people. So sometimes even I get scored. I think I've been blacklisted by one donor. Yes, because of it. But that's okay because I don't care. I have. You have to deal, as Ash would say always, you have to deal with the humanity of it. You have to recognize that this is a person. These are lives. These are not numbers. So even in that, as youth workers, we have to understand that from our own perspective, we have to be able to. And one of the things I have found very successful is doing a simple problem tree. I do a problem tree with every young person I work with, because me identifying your multiple identities is good, but you identifying them is even better. And you identifying some of the issues that each face and the root causes is an extremely empowering feeling. So when I'm working with a young man in a prison and he's sentenced to 60 years, he's 14, He's sentenced to 60 years, and I have had that. 60 years. So he's going, when he turns 17, he's going to go to a prison, right? To serve the remainder of his time. And he's thinking that he's just such a bad person. He might have killed somebody or did something, usually murder, and he feels like he's such a bad person. But when we drill down into his reality, he begins to see that, hey, my grandmother has been locked up, my father has been locked up, my uncle has been locked up, my mother has been locked up, my brother is locked up, my other brother is serving life. And he realizes, hey, and you see the eyes pop open, like, incarceration is a part of my identity. Why? And they drill down to see the systemic injustice, to see that beast of social injustice. Then they are able now to begin to want to change, you know. And even somebody going to prison for 60 years, people say, oh, why? It doesn't matter. No, because they want to be better people for themselves. And so I have found just the simple activity of helping young people, just like Paulo Freire said when he was in those fields with the farmers, being able to identify their issues and the root causes of their issues, that in and of itself is an extremely empowering thing. So I encourage you all in closing. So that's our initiative, the JUSSPACT Initiative. It is where we train youth workers to become social justice agents. We train them in social justice, very interactive 5-day training. And then we support youth workers to train youth leaders and other young people, other leaders in their communities. And we support them in doing social justice campaigns. Might be small scale, might be for the community, it might be for policymakers, it might be for, you know, for youth workers, whoever it is for. We support them in practicing the skills now of identifying problems, issues, challenges, and being able to address them. And so that's what we have found a lot of success in. And I have found a lot of success in informing my practice with social justice and keeping my lens on, because it doesn't matter which sector you're working in, it's there, and it's an empowering activity for people to be able to identify that, hey, I am not just bad. My family is not just bad. You know, my country is not just bad. My people are not just bad, but there are actually some underlying reasons for these issues that I face and that affect us as young people and affect us as citizens of a country. And so we're building on that now, where we're introducing governance training, you know. So we're really building in terms of the political aspect, governance training, understanding who the gatekeepers are, the accountability people in the system, who's supposed to be watchdogs, even exposing them to access to information and act that we have, and how to get information to be able to make sure that on TikTok or social media, if you're saying something, it's not just rhetoric, but it's actually fact, you know. So that's what we've built on, and that's what we do. So I'm now going to call on either Ash or Pooja to help me close off.
Okay, yeah, Pooja and I had a back chat. Sorry, I know we're little running out of time, but this was fantastic. Tanya, very, very powerful. And I was thinking, how do we close this session? And Pooja and we were chatting, and we wanted to give you a little gift, a trophy of Tanya and a dedication. So we just took your name right now, and we were thinking, what is this session all about? So beautiful. And I think T for terrific and A for awakening. I mean, really, the way you speak, the power you bring. And, you know, you see the chats. There's a lot that we are missing. Sorry, we can't bring. I just want to thank everyone for this wonderful conversation, because there's a lot happening in the chat. But Tanya can't be everywhere, and we didn't want to disturb the flow. So there's a lot more we want to take up. But there's a lot of awakening, not only from what you shared, Tanya, but also people are putting in their comments and their contributions. So just cheers to everyone. But thanks, Tanya, for making that happen. Never say die. N for never say die. Just you have been at it, and you have been at it for a long time. And yes, I mean, I think you are the youngest youth worker around in the room at the moment. Why the Youth Champion Par Excellence, Tanya. And we have A and H. And I'm going to now leave it to the group to tell us what do you want to dedicate to Tanya? Anybody? What one letter A, and her name ends with H, by the way. So, and something with H. Can we just do a sort of a dedication to her? And anybody can speak, and you can go beyond the letters, please.
She's definitely awesome. That's the A sorted. Thanks for today, Tanya. It was fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I'll take that. I'll take that, Robin. Thank you. That means a lot coming from Robin, you know.
Yeah, we had a fantastic session with you, Robin, but it was the first, so we were still learning, but so lovely, Robin, for starting this series off. Okay, so Robin has given us awesome. What about H?
Harmonious. She's full of harmony.
Harmony.
She's full of harmony. She's transformative. The E, energetic. The M, marvelous. But ideally, thank you so much. I think from all the sessions that I've been involved with Tanya, all the letters that I've spelled out is what I've gained from those sessions. And ideally, it's very good to be able to actually implement them out of these sessions. So they're more interactive. And the Tanya, without the IA, I wish there was an IA, because the I would be for incredible, you know. She's quite incredible, and yeah, she must keep up the good work. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so. I tell you, you guys gonna give me a you are making my day, because when I leave here, no, I have to really go deal with reality back home, and so you kind of giving me a pump up. But I want you to. I saw something in the chat that I must mention. Somebody says, you know, because we're dealing with these multiple identities for young people, we need to create a space. And so I like that Ash and India, they're always about creating a space where young people come and co-create the space. So it's not, I'm not creating, and the space doesn't have to be physical. The space can be metaphysical. And that's why I like virtual, because Mark can be here, and Joyce and Lorato and everybody, and we still feel each other. We can feel each other, you know, and so we create a space where a young person can come with multiple identities and be able to be empowered, because that's the key. Because if I can get empowered in my core, I take that power out of my core now, and I can use it for all my identities. And so thank you so much for that comment about creating that space.
So beautiful.
And so, yes.
No, go ahead, Tanya. You want to?
And also, I know that we have the Padlet, and I know that Pooja is going to share the Padlet. And the question is, what's our role as social justice agents? So I want everybody here today to make a commitment to move from the definition as a social and political educator and put it into action and be a social justice agent. Be an agent that's going to facilitate social justice in your practice, the way you work, right? As well as what you facilitate with the young people, the empowerment that you bring to them, and you are going to engage with the systems in a very strategic and tactful way so that we can have you sustain your work. So that's the question. What role can youth workers play as social justice agents? And so we ask that you put your comments in the Padlet, right? Put your comments in the Padlet. So back to you.
Yeah, I think Pooja, we will maybe we share the Padlet at the end of the session, and that would be lovely. You all can take it away and enter it later. Just want to bring together this session. And I think there are lots of comments, Tanya, sharing about. You can read them later, but certainly some of them, I want to say thank you for the inspiration. There is a word, the hope has also been shared. It gives us hope to see, not only you, but I think for all of us, the hope is here. All the youth workers here staying at it and being positive and critical and challenging. And these are challenging times, but hanging in there. And so, Tanya, thank you so much for this beautiful session. And Tanya is not just the lead facilitator of this session. I want to share Robin, Tanya, me, Peter is here. I don't know, Peter, are you still here? Peter, if you can show up, I want to bring
Peter is being so quiet.
No, where is Peter?
Hi, I'm here.
Okay.
You.
Show up, Peter. Can we see you? Anyway, Peter, can we just introduce you? Peter is the coordinator of the Commonwealth Alliance of Youth Workers Association, very strong member of the team and doing lots of work. So maybe that's why he's not showing up. Yeah.
Well, I prefer to be at the background. I mean, when my co-chair is rock and rolling, and and as you instructed Ash, mine is to be at the background and support to make sure that the dialogue and conversation is going very well. But I think it's a very important topic that we normally don't talk about within the space of youth work.
Correct.
And maybe I don't know, Tanya, I don't know to be a legal person, but you have done justice to it. Just so maybe going forward as an extensive conversation, maybe we should pick some legal brains around, social justice and how to handle it within the confinement of the law. I know within the Commonwealth, it's quite difficult because you have different jurisdictions, of legal practices, but there could be, that approach through the common law, all right, that would cut across as a way of being more professional in working within a space when you talk about social justice. Right? So I've been observing and listening in, and I think that we are on course. I know we are in a hurry to run up, but let me remind you that, first of all, the next week is Youth Work Week. Yay! Next week is our Youth Work Week. And as we all know, we would expect that, in your countries, you would host an activity to commemorate the Youth Work Week. We have from Monday through to Saturday, all right, the coming week. Choose any of the days, have an activity, and just, hashtag us in. And we will be making ripple effect going forward. The theme is building futures, building brighter futures, safe places, trusted support, and opportunity to thrive. Building brighter futures, safe places, trusted support, and opportunity to thrive. And I think it connects directly to what we are talking about. How do we build that brighter future for young people? And one of the key things to look at that is through ensuring that we are operating or living in a very respectable social environment that would enhance and ensure the trust of young people for who we stand for. And I think it's very connected to whatever we are discussing. And so we encourage you to host an activity, going forward in the coming week. But the global launch is on Monday, and so I'll share information around it. I was waiting for us to finish this, dialogue so that we don't get mixed up with so many online conversations. Now that we're done with this one, before close of day, you will hear from us about the notification. Thank you.
Peter, sorry to come in because we have very little time now. We have to make some closing announcements. So thank you for bringing the Youth Work Week. Congratulations, and congratulations to everyone. Let's make it a big celebration. Pooja, can you just bring up? We just want to share the next few series, friends. We also are seeing that this is a co-creation. It is not something that we package and bring, but we actually co-create. We want to thank all the co-facilitators today who participated, who volunteered to facilitate the breakout groups. So that was very special. So we are trying to now open this up, invite more sessions. If things take off, things go well, we have some sessions planned, which Pooja is going to now put up the slide, and we will just want to share that because some of the session holders are right here and we want to shine a light on them. So what is going to happen? We will try to get some feedback from you online. We don't have time now. If this is going well, we want to do more. Certainly from today, we feel there is traction. Last time also Robin's session was fantastic. I feel we should continue and let's build the energy. We have planned a few more we want to share. Next session, we may change the order, but this is broadly where we are going. We have a session coming from India. Kanika is here. Maybe we can't pin her right now. Kanika, if you can just, actually, we can't see you right now.
Hi. No,
We'll
my
show you.
camera's on now.
Right. So
Hi.
Kanika is here with us, and she will be co-anchoring the youth-centric development lens, the fifth space framework, which we will be sharing from Prava on behalf of Prava and community. We have Jane Zintel from the New Zealand Youth Work Association. She would be talking about youth work ethics in different contexts. This will be in December. In January, we are looking forward to having, there's a big contingent of Sri Lankan team here. We have Shanta here, Ranavira, Nevis, Aruna, many people here who have done fantastic work with the Sri Lankan Youth Work Association and the government. And we would like them to share their work on the short courses. Meenu was part of that process. We would like to share about Ocean in a Drop as well. It's a training course and the importance of courses. And we have then a session planned on shifting narratives in youth work, which is again coming to you from the Vartalip Coalition with Arjun and Pooja. So this is where we are. This is what we thought of. Now we want to open it up, and there are so many of you here, all of you fantastic youth workers with a lot of great experience. If you want to offer a session, please share with us. We're going to send out a mail, and we don't have to do just one session a month. We can do 2 sessions a month, and we don't have to come for all the sessions. We can come for different sessions. Let's try to build energy in our countries to get more youth workers to join this wonderful conversation. I think going by today, it's our I'm appealing to you. All of you are friends also. Let's try to make this dialogue really special. Let's expand it. And it's not about numbers. We could do smaller dialogues and different ones and parallel ones. So let's think about that. So looking for
Also, Ash.
Yeah, Tanya, go ahead.
Also, Ash, if you have a group of youth workers in your country and you are interested, you've heard about social justice and you feel like the capacity could be built in social justice, contact us. I'd be willing to do training for you, free training, of course. And we could negotiate the times so that you can have capacity building. Also, Jamaica has canceled Youth Work Week. So if you have any good virtual activities that you're doing, please share the link in the Youth Development Practitioners group. If you're not in that group, notify us in the chat so Peter can add you to the group, because I would love to participate in some of the youth work activities.
That's beautiful. So that is now throwing up an idea of possibly where do we talk together, and WhatsApp are a pain, but we should think about it, and let's take it up in the next conversation next month. Some new people have come in. Bob, I want to say hi to you. Lovely to see you after a long time. Lots of heart. And sorry, I'm just mentioning the people that I can recognize, but just love to all of you. Pooja, we have one more slide, right? No, there is no group. There is nothing right now. This is the group. We'll figure this out with all of you. Let's do it over a mail. I just don't want to surprise all of you with a WhatsApp group, and people don't like WhatsApp groups. We'll figure it out. But yeah,
we have a group. We have a Commonwealth group. We have a Youth Development Practitioners group. So if somebody's not in that, let's just keep it. It's a big group. It has people from all over the world. So we don't have to recreate another group. So if somebody's not in there, just contact Peter. Contact information can be sent to Peter and he can add them to the group because
that'd be great. Then we'll use that only. So there is that group. We can send the link over here. Actually, we can even send the link to the people here, right?
Yes. Peter, if you could share the link in the group, it would in the chat now for the WhatsApp group, please.
Pooja, can we have the slide on the methodology and then we'll close? Sorry for just 1 second. And this we are sharing with you so that we can get feedback. So the next mail that is going to come to you is going to come with all the links, the WhatsApp groups, the feedback. And what we want to share with you is this little slide, which we made, Robin, me, Kanika, Tanya, Peter, Pooja, all of us, and Manisha together, which is the design of this. Is it showing up, Manisha? Okay. Okay, so I don't want to keep you waiting. There is a methodology. We've given a design to this session, and we are going to ask you for feedback. As you saw, there is a plenary, there is dialogue. It's designed as a dialogue. It's designed as a conversation. It's not like a webinar, one-to-many kind of webinar. And the objective is to showcase contemporary theory and practice, create a thriving community, and co-create a shared pool of resources. These are the objectives of this dialogue. And the structure of this dialogue, Kanika, Manisha? Okay, never mind.
Manisha, next slide.
Sure.
Never mind. Let's leave.
Yeah, my net is
We've run out of time. Never mind. Don't worry. And there is a design to it. We'll send you this. We'd love to have your feedback. How would you like this dialogue design? And would you like to offer any further dialogues in this?